Welcome to TechGig webinar series, our endeavor to impart techies. We believe that sharing of knowledge is the key to enhance our skills and grow us as professionals. With this principle in mind, we have initiated a series of webinars conducted by industry experts to give you all a crisp insight of various domains. The topic of today's session is 21 Success Sutras for Leaders. Our guest speaker today is Professor M.S. Professor M.S. is recognized as one of the world's leading leadership consultants, coaches, and speakers with 31 years of experience and is the author of 17 books, including 21 Success Sutras for Leaders. He coined an innovative teaching tool, Meka's Method, 11E Leadership Grid, Soft Leadership Grid, and coined a new leadership style, Soft Leadership. He has published more than 250 papers and articles in international publications including Leadership Excellence, Leader to Leader, Sage, and Emerald. He successfully led a webinar on soft leadership organized by International Leadership Association. He is ranked as number 1 among the speakers in India as per reviews on speakerwiki.org. You can email him at msrlctrg@gmail.com and also visit his blogs. He serves on the editorial boards of various prestigious international journals, including Development and Learning in Organizations, Industrial and Commercial Training of Emerald, UK, International Journal of Business Administration, Canada, and Journal of Business Studies Quarterly, USA. So without further delay, I introduce you all to our guest speaker. Over to you, Professor Rao.
Good afternoon to everyone. Welcome to the webinar on 21 Success Sutras for Leaders. I am so honored to be with you today. Before I start the Success Sutras, I thank you from the core of my heart for taking time off from your busy schedules to attend this webinar. The webinar created a huge interest among the audiences, as it is clear from the total number of participants. You can view yourself. Here are the things I am going to discuss in this webinar today. I would highlight the importance of learning lessons, unveil the Success Sutras to become leaders, and you will understand how to excel as a successful leader based on these 21 Success Sutras. The famous poet Archibald MacLeish once said, "There is only one thing more painful than learning from experience, and that is not learning from experience." When you look at political leaders like Abraham Lincoln, Ronald Reagan, Harry Truman, Winston Churchill, scientists and inventors like Charles Darwin, Einstein, Newton, Edison, Wright brothers, business leaders like Colonel Sanders of KFC, founder of Honda, Richard Branson of Virgin Group, and Bill Gates of Microsoft, and also Hollywood actors such as Harrison Ford, Charlie Chaplin, and Marilyn Monroe. There is a common thread connecting all of them. They all failed initially and rose like phoenix. They bounced back because they learned lessons from their failures and they did not take failure personally. People make mistakes, leaders make mistakes, and we all make mistakes in our lives. Are we learning lessons from such mistakes? Learning lessons from mistakes makes people more mature and refined. At the same time, it is necessary to know whether the man makes the same mistakes repeatedly. If it is so, he is not learning any lessons in his life. Man may make different mistakes and fail differently, as it makes him stronger and wiser during his life journey. This webinar discusses about leadership lessons that hold leaders understand what mistakes the other leaders have made and how they realize and bounce back from their failures like phoenix. Let us go on to slide number 2. Warren Bennis, the noted leadership guru, said in his book, "Why Leaders Can't Lead." Leaders, like everyone else, are sum of all their experiences, but unlike others, they amount to more than the sum because they make more of their experiences. Research reveals that most of the leaders learn lessons from challenging assignments during their corporate life. At times, hardships and adversity teach them many lessons. Very few leaders learn lessons from classroom teaching and training. It appears that most of the leaders learn lessons by failing and falling. If the same leaders are made aware of failures by experts, academicians, and experienced leaders through teaching and training programs, they will minimize their failures and enhance their success. Hence, it is mandatory for leaders to read good books and undergo leadership development training programs regularly to become better and successful leaders. Here are the 21 sutras for your leadership success, which have distilled from my extensive reading, intensive compilation, and from my 3 decades of experience and expertise in various areas. Sutra number 1, leadership is a responsibility, not a badge of honor. Leadership is not a rank or title. Leadership is not a position. It's a position with responsibility. It is not a position to be appointed by others. It is a people who give such position to the deserving leaders. So, in developing these 14 guides for successful leadership includes concepts like charismatic, visionary, driven, inspirational, coach, and cheerleader in an effort to describe leader. Tom goes on to note, leadership is not a brass ring you can grab. It's a gift presented to you by your employees after you have proven yourself worthy of having it. As leaders can't claim that position, but people will give that position to the deserving ones. Leadership is not a chance, but a choice. Leaders undertake the responsibilities voluntarily. Whenever there is a crisis, the real leaders emerge and smoothen the situation. And whenever a ship sails in a storm, the real captains emerge to sail the ship to the shore successfully. Therefore, leadership is all about less on position and more on disposition. Leadership is all about making these things happen, walking the talk, achieving the objectives, and above all, making a difference in the lives of others. Although Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was referred to as Mahatma, he disliked being called Mahatma Gandhi. For Mahatma Gandhi, title was not important, but the freedom for India was more important. He moved with masses, associated with them, and served with them like a common man. Hence, top leaders don't believe in titles or positions, but they strictly believe in undertaking responsibility and doing their job successfully. Similarly, when you take Dr. Martin Luther King and Mother Teresa, they also took responsibility and excelled as leaders. They never treated themselves as leaders, but people call them as leaders because they have taken responsibility. Let us move on to the sutra number 2, that is, character counts, not charisma. Leadership requires several characteristics, and character is the key thing and the main thing to become a successful leader. People often think that competence or charisma alone counts for successful leadership. The truth is that competence provides leaders an edge over other characteristics to prove themselves, and charisma catapults them to the tipping point. However, to sustain the tipping point, leaders must possess great character. Leaders can succeed in the corporate world with character and competence. But given the choice between the character and the competence, it is the character that takes precedence. Although the success rate for the leaders with character is lower than that of the leaders with competence, ultimately the leaders with character trump over the leaders with competence. Mere expertise without integrity doesn't command any respect. Mere intelligence without character makes a man weak. A person with knowledge is respected, but if he doesn't have character, he loses everything. A person with character has better chances of acquiring knowledge. You can buy machines, not men. Even if you buy men, you can only buy their brains and brains, not character. Robert Cook remarked once, there is no substitute for character. You can buy brains, but you can't buy character. So it's very clear from his quote that character counts. When you look at the collapse of various companies such as Enron, WorldCom, Lehman Brothers, Digital Equipment Corporation, Arthur Andersen, British Leyland, and Tyco, it is obvious that the charisma of the leaders catapulted these companies to the greater heights of glory, but years of character led to their collapse. John Maxwell said, charisma attracts, but character sustains. He further added that charisma is overrated in leadership. In fact, it is the character that should be emphasized to make a strong and great leader. You can't achieve instant attention and success through charisma. However, it takes a longer time to draw the attention of others and achieve success through character. Leaders with character emphasize more on means rather than on ends. Leaders with a blend of both charisma and character are rare in this world. However, we can find a few leaders such as Mahatma Gandhi, Dr. Martin Luther King, and Mother Teresa who are a rare blend of both character and charisma. Abraham Lincoln once said, "Character is like a tree and reputation like it's a shadow. The shadow is what we think of it. The tree is the real thing." Abraham Lincoln was an amazing example of great character. He suffered several setbacks throughout his life, but he didn't compromise with his character. There was an instance when Lincoln was working as a storekeeper. A customer forgot to collect the balance money. Lincoln realized it later and walked a very long distance to refund the balance amount. That is the reason why Abraham Lincoln was known as Honest Abe. It is reported Abraham Lincoln once saying, "I never use any man's money but my own." Remember, as a leader, you are always under scare. People often look at negative things than the positive things. So you have to be an example to others by maintaining a very strong character to excel as a successful leader. Let us move on to the sutra number 3. That is, be a coach, not a critic. There is often confusion between coach and critic. Do you want to be a coach or a critic? Can there be a true coach who doesn't criticize? Can there be a critic who doesn't coach? In fact, people don't appreciate coaches who criticize. They look for coaches who provide feedback during coaching. There is a subtle difference between criticism and feedback, as criticism is individual-centric and sounds difficult to digest, while feedback is a behavior-centric and sounds sweet to accept for bringing out the behavioral changes. Here is a brief explanation of sandwich feedback. Sandwich feedback is a polished way of giving feedback to others. It starts by praising the strengths, then suggesting improvements, and concluding with further praise. Precisely, it is putting the tough news between the two tender positive pieces of feedback. Coaches must adopt this tool as it helps bring out the desired changes among the coaches. It doesn't hurt the receivers as the criticism is well sandwiched. The receivers take what is really needed and develop the attitude of gratitude towards coach. Coaches must love their profession. As Eddie Robinson rightly said, coaching is a profession of love. You can't coach people unless you love them. They must have passion to make a difference for others. They must have love for their profession rather than money. They will not last, but their coaching lasts for several generations. They don't have to regret in latter part of their life for not coaching and guiding the mankind if they coach timely. If you look at Marshall Goldsmith, he is a renowned coach and he is a CEO coach. He is the #1 coaching guru in the world. He is a good friend of mine. Recently I met him. He provided a lot of endorsements for my books. He is a great example of a coach who adopts sandwich feedback, who brings out changes among the people through his sandwich feedback. So he says very clearly that coaches are not as many things. Coaches are the people who want to make a difference in the lives of coaches by giving sandwich feedback so that the people will be able to improve themselves and grow as successful leaders. He also wrote books, famous books like What Got You Here Will Get You There. So there also he says about the sandwich feedback and coaching. In fact, coaching is very close to his heart. Let us move on to the sutra number 4. Build bridges, not barriers. Successful leaders know how to build bridges with others for achieving their organizational objectives. They know the importance of building relations for successful execution of activities and effective interpersonal relations. They spot the barriers and break them and build relations that bring magical results to their organizations. Leadership is all about relationship, breaking the barriers and building bridges. Leaders must walk their talk to build relationships. They must create trust and goodwill among others. Unfortunately, most of the leaders currently are busy with their deadlines and pressures as they don't find time to build relations. They don't give opportunity for others to grow relations. As a result, they find so many casualties and the leaders are again busy in firefighting with those casualties rather than in building relations. However, if the leaders find time to build relations and exercise patience for some time, they can avoid organizational casualties, thus ensuring organizational excellence. Building relations is like a ripple effect, and it takes time for the waves to reach the shore. And the leaders must have time to think in that way and demonstrate their leadership in that way. If you want to build relations, you must know the names of the people. There is a famous book written by Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence Others, wherein he says you have to remember the names of the people and call them by name so that they will be very happy. So you must be able to memorize the names of the people, you have to build the relations, that's one thing. And also you must listen to the people properly, and you must demonstrate soft skills, and you must demonstrate integrity, and you must smile. If you adopt all these tools and techniques, you'll be able to build relations. We will now move on to the sutra number 5. Fight for petty things, not petty things. Ancient kings counted the cost in terms of time, resources, and casualties before they waged battles. If they found that the battle was worth enough, they would wage, else drop. When you look at Alexander the Great, he was a master strategist who weighed all options before conquering. He made everything possible 2,300 years ago with his visionary leadership by minimizing casualties of his soldiers and maximizing the casualties on his opponents. He always had the end in mind and moved by looking at the strengths and weaknesses. Similarly, leaders always look at both the pros and cons while making decisions, and when they feel that pros outnumber cons, they move forward. Currently, the CEOs and senior leaders within the organization adopt the same strategy while beating competition. Similarly, the recruiters within the organizations look at the cost involved in hiring the candidate, and if they find that the candidate is what they recruit. Whether you are a leader or a follower, you must count the cost first to avoid hassles and regrets later. Fight for pretty things, not petty things, as fighting often on small things divert your mind, waste your precious time. When you fight on minor issues, you lose sight of major opportunities. Don't indulge in too much of fighting, as you will be branded as a fighter and it sends wrong signals to others. However, in exceptional cases, fight for small issues and don't mind for losing, as you need to lose a battle to win a war. Here, you must know the difference between leaders and managers. Leaders ignore the small things and they go on searching for opportunities, whereas managers, they constantly fight and they waste their precious time. So you must learn how to draw the line between what to fight and what to neglect. So when you can identify the difference between these two, I am sure you will avoid fighting on small issues and start focusing on new things, and you will be able to grow as a successful leader. And also, if you could recall Pareto's principle, it says 80:20. That means people, 80% of the efforts give 20% results, and 20% of the efforts give 80% results. That means people don't know how to put their efforts properly. If you can identify yourself, the key areas we focus, then you can reap great rewards, and you will be able to succeed as a leader. You will be able to manage your time, you will be able to maximize your performance, and you will be able to enhance your leadership effectiveness. So you must learn to focus on 20 in order to get 80% results, and also you must learn the difference between leaders and managers. If you want to be a leader, avoid on small things and focus on big things. Let us move on to the sutra number 6. Strive for excellence, not perfection. There is a growing interest in excellence by organizations. For instance, McKinsey, Tom Peters, and Robert Waterman published a book, In Search of Excellence, Lessons from America's Best-Run Companies. The book was famous for 7S framework, where 7S stands for strategy, structure, systems, staff, skills, style, and shared values. It was researched on 43 of the Fortune 500 list of top performing companies in America. In addition, Jim Collins' book Build to Last was researched on 18 companies. Currently, companies are craving for excellence to outsmart competition and stay ahead of others. Previously, people cared for perfection, and currently people crave for excellence, as excellence is the only thing that makes people walk their toes for delivering amazing results. If you look at Tom Peters, one of the top 50 management thinkers in the world, he is also known as Emperor of Excellence. He wrote a book on excellence. So he also emphasizes too much on excellence. Leaders have to emphasize on excellence, not on perfection. Let me share a small story in this regard. There was a carpenter who was very dedicated to his boss and served throughout his life. Then finally he wanted to retire from his life, and he approached his boss and told him, "Boss, I am going to resign from my service. I have become old. I can't work anymore." Then the boss has given final assignment to him to construct a small house. The carpenter didn't like to construct, but somehow with half-hearted efforts, he constructed a house, and finally he handed over the house to the boss and told the boss that, "Boss, I have completed my work, final work, now I want to retire." Then the boss has given the key of that house to the carpenter by saying that it's a gift to you so that you can take rest. Then the carpenter was astonished because he didn't put his sincere efforts at the back end of his career. Had he put best efforts, had he strived on excellence, you would have made a good house where you would be staying. So whether you work for yourself or for others, you must always strive on excellence, because what goes around comes around. Hence, as a leader, you must learn to deliver your best. Let us move on to the sutra number 7. Failure is only a comma, not a full stop. Most of the people love success and hate failure. It is rightly said, success has many fathers while failure has none. However, very few realize that success comes only after successful setbacks and failures. Success comes only when people realize their mistakes and learn lessons. Success comes when people fail differently than failing in a similar way. Henry Ford once said, "Failure is only the opportunity to begin again more intelligently." Success without failures is mere impossible. True success comes out of several successful setbacks and shortcomings. Success comes out of sacrifices and struggles. It comes out of hard lessons learned from failures. When we look at top global companies like Microsoft and Apple Computers, they had intermittent failures in their entrepreneurial journey. However, they learned what did work for them and moved forward successfully. Success is not counted by the size of one's initial splash. When you look at startup companies, most of them have initial failures. The failure rate among first-generation entrepreneurs is high. Brilliant Tracy reveals in The Psychology of Achievement about 4 millionaires who made their fortunes by age 35. They were involved in an average of 17 businesses before finding the ones that took them to the top. They kept trying and changing until they found something that worked for them. Hence, you must try and learn from failures initially to succeed finally. Albert Einstein said, "I think and think for months and years. 99 times the conclusion is false. The 100th time I am right. It's not that I am so smart. It is just that I stay with problems longer." So you can learn from this quote also how much effort the Albert Einstein has put. It is true that failure delays progress, but teaches several hard lessons that people fail to learn from others. Failures are opportunities in disguise. It is unfortunate that the modern society is intolerant of failures and doesn't give another opportunity to improve and succeed. Therefore, people must be careful to avoid failures, and if it is thrust upon them, they must face head-on and bounce back with tenacity and resilience by learning valuable lessons. If you look at Ronald Reagan, former President of America, he came from a very poor family background. He was a film star, as you know, and he had problems in his family life. He was rejected by GE company, and he had so many problems throughout his life. But finally, he became the President of America. If you look at Abraham Lincoln, he never tasted any success throughout his life. He kept on failing and failing. Finally, at the age of 52, he became the first Republican President of America. So it shows very clearly that these people have treated failures only as commas, not as full stops. And these people, they have not taken failures personally. They have taken feedback from their failures, learned lessons, and moved forward, and ultimately they succeeded as great leaders. Now we will move on to the sutra number 8. Never say no too soon and yes too late. Harry Truman rightly said, "Men make history and not the other way around." In periods where there is no leadership, society stands still. Progress occurs when courageous, skillful leaders seize the opportunity to change things for the better. People often blame others for lack of opportunities. They often blame God for not providing opportunities. It is the intelligent leaders who scan the environment and spot the opportunities and grab them. Every problem has several prospects in disguise. Every threat provides several opportunities when viewed properly. It is possible only when we see the big picture. Hence, leaders always look at opportunities rather than threats. When one door is closed, the leaders often look at the door that is opened rather than the one that is closed. Carlos Ghosn, the president and CEO of Nissan Motors Corporation, adopted the policy of shut up and execute style while turning around the company. Often leaders talk too much and do too little. However, Carlos Ghosn adopted the other way around approach. Initially, he had a number of challenges, but gradually he converted the threats into opportunities and succeeded as a great leader. When we observe strategic planners and senior leaders within the companies, they have the ability to spot the opportunities from emerging threats. They have the uncanny ability to turn threats into opportunities. They don't lose petty opportunities by saying no too soon and yes too late. Hence, always give a long thought to these two short words to exert as a smart leader. Coming to the sutra number 9, praise publicly and punish privately. Praise is the easiest thing appreciated by human beings, while criticism is the hardest thing to be digested by them. Leadership is a challenging task where it is tough to manage people with different egos, emotions, and feelings. It is tougher to manage the people who perform poorly. That is the reason companies take a lot of care during recruitment itself to recruit the right candidate. Even after thorough selection process, we find sometimes wrong people promptly as it encourages others to replicate similar behavior. People crave beyond money. Money has a little role to play in motivating employees. In fact, people look for recognition and appreciation. The leaders must realize this inherent human need and catch the people doing right and applaud. This is the biggest motivator of all to praise in front of others. They feel that they are worth and it motivates them to reach their tipping point. However, excessive praise and criticism boomerang in the long run. Charles Schwab once remarked, I have yet to find the man, however exalted his station, who didn't do better work and put forth greater effort under a spirit of approval than under a spirit of criticism. It is true that people prefer to work when praised promptly, and at the same time, they prefer to be corrected privately. The days of command and control no longer works in this century. People appreciate the leaders who handhold, correct, and carry them. People don't like to work under leaders who insult in the presence of others. To err is human, hence leaders must learn lessons to praise the performance of their people in public and criticize them privately to correct and guide them towards organizational excellence and effectiveness. In this regard, I would like to differentiate between flattery and praise. Praise is very objective and specific. When you want to praise someone, you have to praise immediately. When something good happens, immediately you have to praise. When you want to criticize people, you have to take little longer time. Then you have to criticize. Even why you have to take longer time? Because when you take longer time, you reformat your mind, change your thought process. You try to make better statements that won't hurt other person. And when you praise people, you have to tell clearly that because of so and so, I am praising. So you have to be very clear. If you don't tell any reasons and simply you praise, so it sounds like flattery. So you must know the difference between these two. And when you want to correct the people, you can adopt the Chanakya's fourfold policy, that is Samdhan, Ved, Dandopai. Chanakya said, there are 4 ways to treat the people. First thing is, you request the people to do it. If they don't do it, then tell the people that the benefits they are going to get, that is done. Even then, if people don't fall in line, then you have to differentiate them by saying that when others can do, why you don't do it. Remember, the worst thing you can do to any person is comparing him or her with other people. Never ever compare with others, because we are all different, we are all unique in this world. So the moment when you differentiate with others, or I mean when you compare with others that somebody is doing better, why you can't do it, the people will become automatically all right and they will fall in line. In case, even if people don't fall in line, finally you have to punish them, that is Dandopai. So this is a fourfold process adopted by Chanakya very long ago, Sam, Dan, Ved, Dandopai. But unfortunately, leaders currently have no time. They either request, if people don't fall in line, they punish. They adopt twofold process, and it's not good. They have to adopt fourfold process of Chanakyas in order to correct the people, so that people will be able to correct themselves, and they will also have gratitude for being corrected by the leaders. Let us move on to the sutra number 10. Spread the fame in success and take the blame in failure. Leadership is about referring we, not I. Leadership is about walking the talk. Leadership is about facing the distractions fairly in daily life. Leadership is about how many challenges the leaders face and inch ahead with energy and enthusiasm. Leadership is not a cakewalk, but a path ridden with both bouquets and brickbats. Above all, leadership is all about spreading the fame during success and taking the blame during failure. Willy Brandt was the Chancellor of West Germany from 1969 to 1974. He led when the world was reeling under the Cold War between USSR and former USA and former USSR. He demonstrated his leadership abilities at a crucial time and improved relations with East Germany, Poland, and Soviet Union. He stands as a leader who takes blame during failures and spreads fame during success. Willy Brandt was a soft leader. Time magazine named him as the Man of the Year in 1970. Norwegian Nobel Committee awarded him with the Nobel Peace Prize in 1971. In this regard, I would like to highlight the level 5 leader coined by Jim Collins. Jim Collins needs no introduction. He is popular with a couple of books. Few of them are Good to Great, Built to Last, and How the Mighty Fall. He has written a number of books, and he writes books after doing a lot of research, and his books are very popular in India. He said the level 5 leader is the one who is a paradoxical blend of both personal humility and professional will. These level 5 leaders are highly passionate, don't mind who takes credit for their hard work. They keep on working hard, they want to make a difference in the lives of others, and they don't want to take any credit. They want to invest their energies and efforts, and they want to build the leaders. So if you want to be a good leader, if you want to become a great leader, you must always do your best, and you must always allow others to take the credit. Now, coming to the sutra number 11, listen to all and take your call. Good leaders are good decision makers. They know how to make decisions. They also know that all decisions may not deliver fruitful results. Yet they gather extensive information through listening from all quarters to make the best decision for achieving organizational objectives. There are 4 pillars in business communication, such as speaking skills, listening skills, writing skills, and reading skills. Any successful professional must be competent in these 4 aspects. Although these 4 are equally important even for leaders, it is the listening that takes precedence among them. According to listening expert Lehman Steele of the University of Minnesota, Americans spend most of their communication time in listening, followed by speaking, then reading, and last by writing. Communication is not just speaking and writing. The forgotten part of it for most people is listening. Studies have shown that a large percentage of people listen less effectively than they believe, and many are poor listeners. In addition, the research report by Atwater in 1992 reveals that more than 85% rate themselves as average or worse listeners, and fewer than 5% rate themselves as excellent. it is clear that most of the people are either average or poor listeners from this statistical evidence. Woodrow Wilson rightly noted, the era of the leader must ring with the voices of the people. Making decisions is not an easy task. It involves collection of information, analyzing from multiple perspectives with pros and cons, and finally taking a call. There is no guarantee that all decisions will be accurate and successful, as there is no certainty in outcomes. However, if the leaders are empathetic listeners and are selective and attentive listeners, they will be able to weigh both merits and demerits, and based on their head and heart, make the final decision. Listening to all ensures more information from multiple perspectives, leading to qualitative decision making with more probability for success. That is the reason when you observe most of the leaders, they talk less and listen more so that they can process the information mentally to come out with viable outcomes. In this regard, I would like to talk about soft skills. Soft skills is the area I am very much passionate apart from leadership. I have done my PhD in soft skills, and listening falls in the domain of soft skills. Even I have authored 4 books on soft skills, and this listening is the area that plays a crucial role in the area of soft skills. Leaders have to be good at soft skills. Leaders have to be good listeners. In this regard, I would like to provide some tips to improve your listening skills. If you want to be a good listener, first you suspend your preconceived notions. If you have preconceived notions, you won't be able to listen to the speaker. So you have to come out of that. Second thing, if you have any judgment about the speaker, that you suspend it for time being. So be on a clean slate so that you will be able to absorb the information. Third thing is, whatever the speaker says, that you have to listen carefully and summarize within your mind. Then you have to relate the information given by the speaker with your real life event. Somewhere something must have happened. When I am speaking something to you, you have to relate whatever I am telling, the ideas, concepts I am giving, that you must be able to relate in your real life. So by this you will be able to improve listening skills. Then you must also respect the speaker. When someone speaks, he is an authority, that's why he is able to speak. So when you have a respect towards the speaker, definitely you will be able to listen. And above all, we shouldn't have false ego. When we are highly egoistic, we won't be able to listen to others. So if you can adopt these tools and techniques, you will be able to become a good listener, because good listeners are good leaders. We shall now move on to the Sutra number 12, walk your talk. That is on slide number 14. Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa, and Martin Luther King are the leaders who made a difference to this world by setting an example for others. People trusted, revered, and followed these leaders because they practiced what they preached. Mahatma Gandhi played a crucial role for India's freedom through non-violence. At a time when the entire world was adopting violent means to achieve their goals, Mahatma Gandhi adopted an unconventional path based on non-violence and truth. Similarly, Dr. Martin Luther King, the civil rights leader, was responsible for equality of blacks on par with whites. He put an end to color discrimination in America through peaceful means, following into the footsteps of Mahatma Gandhi. When we view Mother Teresa, who is the mother of compassion, she helped poor and lepers through her selfless service. Why were these leaders followed by people? Why people followed these leaders? It was due to 3 words: walk your talk, which is the key to effective leadership and soft leadership. If you walk your talk, I am sure you will command great respect from your people. Let me tell you the example of Florence Nightingale. Florence Nightingale hailed from a rich family. She left her affluent background and started serving the wounded soldiers during wartime. She brought great respect to nursing community. She elevated the image of nursing profession. She got this much respect because she walked her talk. Then, deal people differently. That is the number 13. Ken Blanchard emphasized on different strokes for different folks in his famous book 1 Minute Manager. People have different needs, emotions, and feelings, and there is no quick formula to adopt while leading people. The leaders must be in a position to read the aspirations and needs of the people and must mold themselves to get the things done. There are several definitions about leadership and management. However, I would define management as managing human egos, emotions, and feelings effectively. We find different employees at the workplace with different needs, aspirations, and expectations. Hence, leaders can't afford to use single style to all people. We'll move on to the sutra number 14. Everybody craves for respect, but everybody doesn't get. Only the deserving gets the respect, while the rest get what they are to get. Some people often think that they can get respect based on their titles and positions. However, that is only temporary, not from the people's heart. Remember, people are the best judges. They know whom to give respect, whom not to give. Respect is something that you have to command, you can't demand. The leaders must learn. Coming to the sutra number 15, people don't blame circumstances. People often blame circumstances for their failures. Everyone thinks that they alone have more challenges to complain to others. However, the truth is that everyone has challenges. Mostly, challenges are the result of external distractions and disturbances. Let us now move on to sutra number 16. Don't compete and collaborate. With the dynamic global business environment, the permutations and combinations are changing rapidly. Companies are reinventing the changing business scenario. They find that collaboration is better than competition. Every company has its own strengths and weaknesses. The leaders currently capitalize on the strengths of competitors by collaborating rather than competing. The truth is that competition is needed, but excessive competition drains a lot of resources and energies. Competition emphasizes on who wins, while collaboration involves we all win. Competition often creates complications, while collaboration creates camaraderie. Therefore, the leaders must learn to collaborate rather than compete. In this regard, I would like to take the quote of Henry Ford, who said, "Coming together is the beginning, keeping together is progress, working together is success." Coming to the sutra number 17, don't react, act. Many conflicts arise when people react rather than act to the situation. Most of the problems could be resolved when people attempt with a positive attitude. Here, act comes with a positive attitude, while react comes with a negative attitude. You can easily judge a person the way he approaches towards a conflict. If he approaches with a negative attitude, the conflict would be aggravated. If he approaches with a positive attitude, the conflict would be resolved amicably. Remember 90:10 principle. Here, 90% of the problems for which we are responsible because lack of proper attitude. If we view the problem with a positive attitude, if we respond rather than react to the situation, I am sure we will be able to resolve many problems. Therefore, don't react, act whenever any issue comes. Coming to the sutra number 18, think global, act local. Jack Welch elected, the Jack Welch of the future can't be like me. I spent my entire career in the United States. The next head of General Electric will be somebody who spent time in Bombay, in Hong Kong, in Brunei Aires. We have to send our best and brightest overseas and make sure they have the training that will allow them to be global leaders who will make GE flourish in the future. As charity begins at home, helping others must start from home. Although people talk of charity at higher levels, and all over, it must start from your home. So, you must think global at the same time act local. If you take the case of Barack Obama, he takes care of local interests as well as global interests. In the present world, you have to take care of both the things so that you can succeed as a great leader. Let us now move on to the sutra number 19, invest in people. The HR people must recruit the right talent, hire for attitude, recruit for skills. While recruiting the people, they have to be very much careful. If they are very much careful and recruit the right talent, they will be able to produce good leaders. And they should be constantly groomed and trained through leadership development programs so that the leadership pipeline will not be clogged. As a result, there will be seamless supply of leaders to ensure organizational excellence and effectiveness. Sutra number 20, everybody is a leader. Everybody is a leader, whether you are a CEO, a middle manager, a junior manager, a factory worker, a janitor, an entrepreneur, or a single parent. The one who leads from the front is a leader. Remember that everyone has a leadership potential. As a father, you provide direction to your family. As a mother, you care your children and groom them with good character. As an educator, you mentor your students. As a salesperson, you serve your customers. As a pastor in such, you provide sermons. All these people serve others through some positions and titles. They are all leaders irrespective of their positions, titles, and ranks as they serve people. They make a difference in the lives of the people. Hence, everybody is a leader. If you look at Robin Sharma's book, that is the leader who had no title, he said very clear that everybody has the leadership potential and leaders in fact don't care for titles. Coming to the last sutra, that is soft leadership is the heart of leadership. Soft leadership is a new concept I have coined which is making waves globally. This is my own concept. I am very much passionate about leadership. I do a lot of research on leadership and I have created a new concept, and these articles have been published in various international journals. Recently, the world's #1 leadership association, that is International Leadership Association, has invited me to lead a webinar on soft leadership. It's in fact a great sight for all Indians that I have led that webinar and I got the opportunity to lead it. So this concept is based on the right mindset, skill set and tool set. The globalization, liberalization, privatization and the rapid growth of technology have redefined the concept of leadership and the role of leaders, resulting in the need for a new and specialized set of skills that can be called soft leadership. There are 11 characteristics that soft leaders from others. They are character, charisma, conscience, conviction, courage, communication, compassion, commitment, consistency, consideration, contribution. You can see in the diagram. The soft leaders are blend of 11 C's and each C is associated with a specific leader. For instance, Mahatma Gandhi is associated with character, Michael Gorbachev with charisma, Dr. Martin Luther King with conscience, Aung San Suu Kyi with conviction, Alexander the Great with courage, Winston Churchill with communication, Mother Teresa with compassion, Nelson Mandela with commitment, John Wesley with consistency, Dalai Lama with conservation, and Booker T. Washington with contribution. Hence, we need soft leaders who are blend of all these leaders to take on the global leadership challenges. We have had so many leadership styles. It's time for us to try this leadership style. I'm sure it is going to prevail in the years to come. Now you can see a leadership quote given by in slide number 25. Dave Ulrich. Dave Ulrich is a very good friend of mine who has been ranked as one of the top 50 management thinkers in the world, who wrote foreword for one of my books, that is Soft Leadership Make Others Feel More Important. He is kind enough to provide this leadership map code you can see in the slide. Coming to the conclusion, learn lessons from the experience of great leaders. You can learn lessons by various means such as through reading books, observing others, listening, teaching, training, and experience. However, if you learn lessons from our sources except through your own experience, you will reach your goals much faster and smarter, thus outsmarting others. The significance of this webinar is to learn lessons from others' experience rather than from your own experience. However, at the end of the day, we still learn lessons from our own experience, and that's how the life is all about, as others have to learn lessons from our own experiences. When you look at the slide number 27, you will find the resources. I have 3 blogs on leadership development. Daily 400 people visit these 3 blogs. You will get a lot of articles on leadership development, training and development, soft skills you will find. And if you hit Google with my name, Professor M.S. Rao, the very first name in the Google is mine, Professor M.S. Rao. So even if you find these links, you can Google my name, Professor M.S. Rao. There are 3 blogs. One is Where Knowledge is Wealth, Knowledge Grows and Shared, and one more blog name is Professor M.S. Rao, Born for the Students. These 3 blogs you will get so many things. And you can post your feedback at Speaker Wiki. The link is Speaker Wiki contains several endorsements. The great leadership gurus like Marshall Goldsmith, Vijay Govindarajan, Brian Tracy, Tony Alessandra, James Stokes, Norm Smallwood, many top leaders in the world have endorsed me. Some of them, they have called me as an international leadership guru. You can see all those, all their comments. Even you can post your feedback about this webinar on that Speaker Wiki profile. You can get from the slide. And Now coming to the acknowledgement section, I have ordered a book based on the 21 Success Sutras for Leaders published by Pearson, which is selling good. International renowned management thinkers and leadership gurus such as Marshall Goldsmith, who is a very good friend of mine, Brian Tracy, Jean Forges, the author of Leadership Challenge, Tony Alexandra, Richard Devan, have provided their valuable endorsements. And Howard Gutman wrote forward for this book. It's doing good, and also I acknowledge I give full credit to Dave Ulrich for mapping a leadership for my soft leadership. Now, let us move on to the question and answer session. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Now I am open for questions on this topic. Hello, I am over to the question.
I've already assigned you some question, Professor Rao. Can you see it in the questions pane?
Yeah, we are seeing. 1 minute. I am reading one question. Do you have any suggestion regarding maintaining the balance between seniors and subordinates? That's the first question. Okay. 1 minute. Let me read it clearly. Yeah, that's the thing. Regarding this question, I would like to say nowadays the Gen Y believes in collegial way of dealing. In the sense, there is nothing like superior and subordinate. That the kind of attitude is prevailing, and we are having in organizational behavior. There are 5 kinds of models. One is autocratic, then collegial, then we are having 2 more. Custodial, like that we are having 4 models. So the Gen Y, especially the young people, they appreciate treating all people as partners. There is nothing like seniors and subordinates. So the idea of thinking that senior and junior should be done away with in the current context. Yeah, next question. One question I have read. 1 minute. This question was raised by 1 minute. 1 minute. Now I am able to see. 1 minute. This question was 1 minute. This question was raised by Kamal Kumar Tetabe. Okay. We will go on to the first one. Anand Patnam raised one question. Why we are not seeing too many leaders around us in any segment of society? Yeah, it's a good question, really, Anand. Because our Indian mindset is different. We are successful as managers rather than as leaders. Our Indian culture, the way we have been brought up, and all these things matter a lot. That affects, we follow somebody. We don't try to lead. But currently there is a change in the mindset of the people, because the Gen Y, especially these young people, they are very smart technologically, knowledge-wise, in every aspect. These young people are very smart, and I'm sure these people will be able to create more leaders. I think I expect more and more leaders from this young lot. Okay. And another question raised by Anand Patnam. What top 3 qualities a leader should possess and become part of his personality and character? So it's a very good question. Let me repeat this question raised by Anand Patnam. What top 3 qualities a leader should possess and become part of his personality and character? Okay. I have come out with one more book, that is 11 E's of a leader. So I have said that leaders must possess 11 E's: energy, enthusiasm, emotional intelligence, endurance. Likewise, 11 E's I have created. So the first thing is that a leader must set an example. That you must remember. First quality for a leader is you have to be an example to others. Generally, you can command respect. You don't have to demand respect. First is example. Second, you should have energy. Then enthusiasm. Then you must have the ability to endure the shock, that is endurance. Then you have to believe in execution. You must have emotional intelligence. Emotional is a wonderful topic. If you are very good at EQ, I am sure you can become a successful leader. I hope this solves this author clarifies the question raised by Anand, because I have to. This webinar has created a lot of interest. There are number of questions here. We will go to Sendil Kumar. What is the difference between transactional leadership and transformational leadership? Oh, very good, very good. It's all leadership is very close to my heart, Sendil. Transactional leaders believe in, they are work-oriented people, they are task-oriented people, whereas transformational leaders, they believe in people. Transactional leaders believe in task and work and production, whereas transformational leaders believe in people. They want to make a difference in the lives of the people. They want to convert ordinary people as extraordinary people. Of course, they also focus on task, but they emphasize more on people orientation to get the task done. That is the quality of transformational leadership. I think I have responded to this. Then again, Roma Agwekar. What is the best hierarchy for good leadership? This question is not clear. What is the best hierarchy for good leadership? Means nowadays there is no hierarchy. I said, nowadays all are partners. Tax system is going on in organization. This question is something, there is lack of clarity. I'm sorry, Roma. So let me move on to the next one. Amit Kumar Singh is asking, what is situational leadership? Oh, again, it's a very interesting one. Situational leadership means it was coined by Ken Blanchard. That means as per the situation you have to act. There are various leadership styles like autocratic, democratic, delegative. Likewise, there are so many kinds of leaders. Whereas situational leadership says that you have to act according to the situation. That means you have to adopt different strokes for different people. At the same time, you have to adopt same strokes for different strokes for same folks. That's what he said, Ken Blanchard. So, situational leadership is all about acting according to the situation. There is nothing like, one leadership style works. As per situation, you have to act. And the two slogans I would like to put it on. One is different strokes for different people. Then again, different strokes for same person. So, that clearly conveys the meaning of situational leadership. We will move on to the next question. That is Jeevan Agarwal, sandwich feedback. Oh, very interesting. Sandwich feedback means you have to, for example, if I want to criticize someone, I can't criticize. First I have to praise something, then I have to criticize. That too, I have to criticize the behavior of the person. You can't criticize the person. You can't attack the individual. You have to attack the behavior of the individual. Then again, you have to conclude with a positive praise. Let me repeat once again. Sandwich feedback means first you have to praise. That is plus point. Then followed by negative point. That is correction. That too, you have to attack only the behavior of the individual, not the individual. Then again, you have to conclude with a praise. So this is known as sandwich feedback. The leaders must learn this art. Leaders must learn this technique. If they adopt it, even the receiver will be very happy and he will thank the person who has given the feedback. Next question, Rajan Joshi, technical versus managerial skills. Which is more important to become a good leader? Oh, all are very interesting questions. I am very happy that so many questions are raising. See, let me repeat this question once again for everyone. Technical versus managerial skills, which is more important to become a good leader? In this regard, I would like to talk about three skills which are required. According to Robert Carl, there are three kinds of skills required. One is technical skills, second is human skills, then the third is conceptual skills. If you want at the lower level, you need to have more of technical skills, but less of conceptual skills. When you become a middle level manager or leader, you have to have proportional blend, that is the equal proportion of your technical skills, human skills, and conceptual skills. Again, when you reach higher positions like CEO positions, you have to have more of conceptual skills and less of technical skills. And human skills, the so-called human skills, you can also call them as soft skills. You can also call these technical skills as hard skills. So once you reach higher positions, or if you want to reach higher positions, you have to have soft skills, that is human skills, then again you should have more of conceptual skills. Your technical skills or domain skills or your hard skills doesn't matter much if you want to become a good leader or if you want to become a CEO very quickly. Okay, but anyhow, that comes by experience. Next question, Bala Sajja. 1 minute. What the question? Leadership means responsibility. But what we can do when someone stops us taking responsibility, how could we be leaders then? It's very strange question, and it's a practical problem everywhere. I agree with Bala Sajja. Yeah, see, theoretically saying something and then again practically things happening, you know, it's quite, yeah, there is a gap, but I admit it happens. Sometimes, you know, people stop doing it, but unmindful of the stopping, you know, we should take responsibility. Because I told, you know, Jim Collins, level 5 leadership. You have to have personal humility and professional will. So if you have that, if you don't mind for results, then you can keep moving forward by taking responsibility. I hope I have responded to that question. The next question is Nitesh Nema PMP. Is diplomacy is nothing but a soft leadership? Oh, see, diplomacy is something, you know, being tactful. See, soft leadership means you have to adopt soft tactics, you have to apply soft skills, you have to apply soft methods, and you have to adopt 11 C's that I have already told. Then you become a soft leader. That's the kind of leadership required. That will prevail in the years to come. That's what I am strongly saying across the world, and people are also accepting gradually. So diplomacy is, I don't know in which context Nitesh is saying, it is a kind of tactness or soft tactics, you know, that can be adopted in soft leadership. Then coming to the next question, Muhammad Sadruddin. In India, why a politician is considered to be a leader? Is it correct? Great questions. I'm very happy with this webinar. People are shooting so many questions. See, in India, the politicians, you know, we think in a very negative attitude. Of course, most of the politicians are negative. I do agree, but see, if you want to become a leader, you have to be good at emotional intelligence quotient. EQ. If you are having high of EQ, I have told some time back, you will become a successful leader. These politicians, they may not have very much IQ. They may be illiterate. But still, if they are very good at EQ, they can become good leaders. See, one thing you must learn here, education is different, practical life is different. There are people without MBA, they have become CEOs. But there are MBAs still they are working under CEOs. So it is not the artistic asset, but if you want to become a leader, you must learn only one thing. You should have more of EQ rather than IQ. So you must know the difference between these. IQ means intelligence quotient, EQ means emotional quotient. These politicians are considered leaders because they are having higher EQ. Let me move on to the next question. How to deal with people who criticize us every time? How can we show our leadership in the environment where there is people around us with negative motives? See, everywhere you will find these people, you know, rotten apples are there. It's a common question, and everyone undergoes this process. You have to be safe, first of all. Second thing, you should try to bring about the changes among the people around you, especially the people with negative attitude. It's a very big challenge, and it is easier said than done. You can't become a good leader unless you burn your fingers. So when you meet such kind of people, they teach you so many lessons, and you develop more of EQ, and you'll be able to know how to manage them, how to handle them, and how to succeed as a leader. Next question, what is it? How do we take the failures of others? Could you please provide an example? See, I have given so many examples about Ronald Reagan, who encountered so many failures in his life. Even I have failed in many ways in my life. So it is part of life. When Abraham Lincoln, if you look at Amitabh Bachchan in India, he encountered so many failures. Why these people rose like phoenix? Because they never took failures personally. They treated failures as commas, not as full stops. You got it? So you should always, and remember, if you take some decisions, all decisions will not go well. Some decisions will go wrong because we are human beings, and some mistakes will happen. But what you should do is that you should learn lessons and you should improve your thinking skills and you should be able to improve your decision making. Then Varun Sahal Mathur. How deal with egoistic people in an organization? Yeah, this these egoistic people you will find everywhere. Then again, it's part of their nature. The best thing is to praise them so that they'll be very happy. And don't attack them, they will be hurt, and you praise them and get the things done. Because I told you, different strokes for different people. That is in situation leadership, because people are different. When people are different, you have to adopt different tools and techniques to get the job done as a leader. This is your responsibility to lead from the front, to manage egoistic people, arrogant people, adamant people, submissive people, assertive people, all kinds of people. Next question. Chandil Kumar. He is asking one more question. Everybody wants to become leader. Who will be the follower? Yeah. There is a saying in Telugu, if everybody sits in Palanquin, who will lift the Palanquin? Yeah, it's a great question. See, the thing is that everybody is a leader. That means a good follower is a good leader. That is the answer for this. I work in defense and I was told a subordinate, is following his a leader. How will you become a leader? If you are a good follower, then only you will become a good leader. I was told. Now I am telling you the same. If you are a good follower, definitely you will become a good follower. That is the answer to Sendil Kumar. Next question, Gaurav Vishal. Do you think leaders groom future leaders? As far as I know, good leaders take their team together and they teach and groom them on the way. Is it not right? Yeah. In today's discussion, I have told you about Jim Collins' level 5 leadership. If you want to be a great leader, remember one thing: make a difference in the lives of others. Don't expect anything from others. This is my slogan. This is my message to all the audiences today. Really, I thank you from the core of my heart the way you have responded with this much of visitors. Really, I am very new to this kind of session. You, with a lot of love and affection, your participation, I felt very happy. And when you are asking these many questions, that means you have taken me very seriously. So in fact, I am honored. So let me tell you this question. The leader is the one who grooms others as leaders. A good leader is one who is a level 5 leader. Level 5 leader means one who spreads the fame in case of success and takes the blame in case of failure. If you can take the blame in case of a failure, you are a true leader. In case if you can spread the fame in case of success, you are a true leader. Then you are a level 5 leader. Definitely be great leaders. Don't expect anything from others. This is my message. Keep on doing your job. Next question. Dear sir, could you explain once again Sutra 13? Saravanan Shanmugam. Yeah, I will explain once again Sutra number 13. Yes, thank you very much. You are asking questions. Sutra number 13. Yeah, Sutra number 13 deals people differently. I told I have given already answers for this egoistic people handling. Different strokes for different people. People are different and you have to deal people differently. Maybe egoistic, submissive, assertive, aggressive, adamant, whatever it is. You must know. So in this regard, I would like to tell you about Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Abraham Maslow was an American psychologist who said there are 5 levels of needs. That is, first one is physiological needs, second one is safety needs, third is social needs, fourth is self-esteem needs, fifth is self-actualization needs. Every human being craves for these 5 needs. This you must know as a leader. First thing is physiological needs. That means everyone craves for food, cloth, shelter and sex. If these things have been fulfilled, then you will crave for the next higher order of needs. That is safety. Every living thing craves for safety. If you try to kill an animal, it will run towards safety, because that is a human need, and that is the need of a living thing. Then after, you have the need for social needs. That means you want to associate with your community, language, culture. And Aristotle said one thing: man is a social animal. We can't live alone. We have to live. That's why we have friends. So that is the need. That is social need. Once this need is also fulfilled, then you will crave for fourth need. That is self-esteem need. For this, I can take the quote: man cannot live by bread alone. That means man needs beyond bread and beyond bed. That means he wants his ego to be fulfilled. If you are given 1 lakh salary per month, if your ego is not respected, you will not work in that organization. You will leave and go somewhere else. Why? Because you want your ego to be protected. So this is the fourth need. That is self-esteem need. Once this need is also fulfilled, then you crave for the highest need. That is self-actualization need. That means you want to undertake challenging roles and responsibilities. You want to pursue your passions. So all those things fall in the category of self-actualization needs. So this Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you must know it as a leader. If you know it, then you can understand the needs of the people, and you can deal different people differently. Yeah, next question. Oh, these are all again. Dear sir, could you explain once again? Sutra number 13, I have explained. Then again, could you shed more light on that is neuro-linguistic program, pacing and leading? That will take a very long time. Next question. Next question. Venu Mahadasa. Any reason for not having any Indian in your acknowledgement list? Oh. Venu Mahadasa has asked one question. That is any reason for not having any Indian in your acknowledgement list? Yeah, I had some Indians in some of my previous books, but not in this book. I think this gives clear answers. Then any other questions are there? 1 minute. 1 minute. I hope I have responded to almost all questions. 1 minute. Let me check this panel related. Will there be leadership skills suitable for every field? Including this one, I think I'm not Pandian. Will these leadership skills be suitable for every field, including politics? Yes. These 21 success sutras can be applied irrespective of the area of your interest in. Whether you are a politician, whether you are a business leader, or whether you are a religious, wherever the field you are into, you can adopt these tools, which according to the situation, then you can become a great leader. Then again, Anand Satnam, what kind of leaders are American presidents in the current? Joy Emmanuel asked one more question. What kind of leaders are American presidents in the current scenario? Yeah, let me talk to you about Barack Obama. He is a charismatic leader. He has been gifted. He is having the gift of the gap. He knows how to communicate with others. He has come from very humble beginnings, so that is his strength. The second strength is that he knows how to communicate and effectively and connect with the people. So he is a charismatic leader. So I can say that Obama is a charismatic leader. I hope I have responded correctly to the answer to Joy Emmanuel. The next one is Priyanka. What is the one top quality that trainers can implement in their profession, and how to motivate students? See, one quality a trainer must have is passion. You must be committed and dedicated. You must make a difference in the lives of trainees or students or participants, whatever it is. If you don't have passion, don't enter into training as a trainer. You must be passionate, unmindful of the feedback of the trainees or the participants. You have to deliver your goods. See, leadership is not a popularity. You are not there to please the people by cracking jokes, making fun, and making people happy. That gives relaxation only for some time. But you have to ensure takeaways among the participants, students, or trainees. So that is more important. So top quality is that you must be passionate to make a difference in the lives of trainees. That is a real challenge for most of the trainees. I hope I have responded correctly to Priyanka's response. Then again, difference with transactional over. Any other questions? My question, oh, I think for Parsuram Allur is asking one question. My question, every leader needs to keep up the energy and enthusiasm. How can one keep these levels always high? Yeah. It is partly inborn and partly can cultivate. Energy and enthusiasm is the gift you can give it to your children. Even if you don't give money or anything, you must give enthusiasm to your children. And energy is something you can build. You maintain good health, do yoga or hit gym, then you build very good energy levels. Once your energy levels are so high, you'll be able to inspire people and they will follow you. So you have to do either meditation, yoga, or other things, and also you have to involve into your passionate areas. Then automatically build your energy level. I hope I have responded to this question also to Parasuram, Bala, Vishal, Padma. In which way do you see that new technologies will affect leadership and leaders? Yeah, let me repeat this question by Vishal Padmawar. In which way do you see that new technologies will affect leadership and leaders? See, nowadays technology is a very big challenge for every one of us. Where technology takes us, we can't guess, we can't imagine. Now we have virtual leaders, virtual teams. Managing them is a very big challenge. And nowadays there is a lot of uncertainty and complexity globally. So these are all the challenges. New technologies will definitely make an impact. Now if you look at me, I am leading the webinar. So this is through technology only. Thanks to technology that I am able to reach out by sitting there. I am able to reach out to around 1,300 people online. So thanks to technology, but we need to reinvent according to the times and technologies. And you must unlearn, relearn and learn. Then Mohammed Sadruddin. I hope I have responded to almost all questions. Thank you very much, my dear friends. I am grateful to you for your great presence, and really it's an honor to be with you for quite some time and to share my knowledge with you. And I thank you from the core of my heart for your. Thank you very much. Gaurav. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks so much for the insightful presentation, Professor Rao. I'm really thankful to you for conducting this webinar. It was indeed a great session. I would also like to thank all our participants for the support in making this webinar a success. The recording of the webinar will be available on webinar page on technic.com by tomorrow. Thank you all. Have a great evening.
Thank you very much. Have a nice evening. Bye-bye. All the best.